Living in the haunted mansion.
Better learn my name, 'cause it's Ashley.
She knows the darkest spells and she brews the meanest potions.
You might be the ingredient I seek.
Don't let yourself be fooled by her innocent demeanor.
You'd better be afraid.
She's the girl next door living in the haunted mansion. It's Ashley from the WarioWare series. For those of you who've never heard of Ashley, she made her first appearance in the game WarioWare Touched, which released on the Nintendo DS in 2005, and is considered to be the most iconic character in the entire series, alongside Wario himself. Ashley is a young witch in training who wants nothing more than to make the coolest potions in all of Diamond City. Okay, what kind of weirdo wants to make potions anyway? Doesn't she know she's way too young to be messing with stuff like that? But luckily, due to her very young age, she's pretty inexperienced, but she is getting a little bit better. And today, Ashley will be breaking out of her assist trophy prison and go against Wario and every other magic-based fighter on the Super Smash Bros. Roster. So starting off, Ashley would be a below-average mid-weight class character. She'd have 2 jumps and would have no other movement options. But now, let's dive into her costumes. For Ashley's default appearance, she'll be in her iconic red robe. The remaining also will just have her in different colors, which have her in orange, green, turquoise, blue, purple, black, and white. Now with all that out of the way, let's go ahead and dive into the moveset. Now the way I'm building this moveset is themed around the fast-paced, crazy action of the WarioWare games themselves, something that was also used for Wario's moveset. Here's what I mean. Wario's moveset is a little bit choppy, having attacks that look weird in the context of a fighting game. Despite that, they still get the job done, just like the WarioWare games themselves. The games look pretty choppy in design, but they get straight to the point of being fun to play. However, unlike Wario's moveset, where you can only tell this if you're one of those very observant players, Ashley's friend Red will transform into various objects that directly mimic Ashley's microgames specifically. So starting with a jab, it'll be a one-hit spammable jab where Ashley will use her scepter to zap opponents with lightning that emerges from the scepter. This move reaches a pretty good distance compared to most jabs, but there is some end lag. This comes from Ashley's playable appearance in Game & Wario, where Ashley used lightning to destroy any sweets in her path. Which is kind of ironic now that I think about it. I mean, most kids will do anything to get a sweet, so I can just imagine most kids playing this game and screaming at Ashley to not destroy the sweets. Anyways, for the side tilt, Red transforms into a meat skewer that Ashley pierces forwards. It deals a large amount of damage in a knockback if it sweet spots, and it reaches a far distance, but it does have a tiny hitbox. This comes from the true skewer microgame from WarioWare DIY. For the down tilt, Red will transform into a broom and Ashley sweeps downwards, causing foes to be dragged in. This comes from the Sweep Me microgame from WarioWare Smooth Moves. Yes, technically this was not a microgame that Ashley hosted, but I failed to think of something cool for this down tilt. For the up tilt, Red will turn into a match. Once that happens, Ashley will strike the match a single time and raises it upwards. This attack is unique because it starts right at Ashley's feet and raises upwards, causing foes to be dragged in. The flame of the match deals multiple hits of damage until the final hit. Unfortunately, it does have a little bit of start lag and a little bit of end lag. This comes from the Match Strike microgame from WarioWare Touched in DIY. Now for Ashley's forward smash, Ashley will make a potion from a vat and shake it. Once it's shaken, Ashley will spray it, which deals a large amount of damage and knockback. Unfortunately, it does have a lot of start lag and even more end lag. This move comes from the Shake It microgame from both Touched and Smooth Moves. For the down smash, Ashley uses her magic to cause 2 apples to fall on opposite sides of herself. This move is pretty deadly, as this move has the ability to bury the opponents if they happen to be directly beneath the apples. These apples do count as projectiles, so be wary of using this move against foes with reflectors. This references the Catch Them microgame from DIY and Touched. For the up smash, it'll be a parallel to the forward smash, but this time the concoction causes an explosion above Ashley, dealing large amounts of damage and knockback. Unfortunately, just like the forward smash, there is a lot of start lag and even more end lag. For the neutral air, Ashley will spin her scepter multiple times, dealing multiple hits of damage until the final hit. This is a reference towards one cutscene in Smooth Moves where Ashley spins her scepter. For her forward air, red turns into the meat skewer again, which acts just like her side tilt. For her back air, red turns into a net that Ashley grabs onto and swings it from high to low. The net has a wide hitbox, but it is pretty slow and ends with some end lag. This references the Catch Them microgame from Touched. For the down air, Ashley uses her scepter to teleport a small ring downwards. This small ring doesn't deal a whole lot of damage, but it is Ashley's quickest aerial attack, so keep that in mind. This comes from the ring catch microgame from Touched. And finally, for the up air, Ashley holds a slice of bread above herself, and thanks to red, a bunch of objects fall onto that slice of bread to make a sandwich. The objects falling don't count as a projectile, and they teleport just slightly above Ashley. This move deals multiple hits of damage until the final hit. This is a direct reference towards the Behemoth Burger microgame from Smooth Moves. But where Ashley is the cruelest girl you'll ever meet is with her special attacks. For Ashley's neutral special, she'll shoot out a small red spell as a small projectile. This move reaches a pretty long distance and can be spammed for as long as you want. But I should warn you that this move is pretty weak, only dealing a very small amount of damage towards players. Plus, foes can't be launched by this red spell, they only get stunned, essentially becoming a quicker version of Fox's Blaster. They also do count as projectiles, so keep an eye on that. Now for Ashley's side special, Ashley will utilize a skill she learned from the Pumpkin Panic minigame from WarioWare Gold called the Pumpkin Beam. Now, there are a few things that you can do with this move. First of all, this special acts like a nerfed version of the Star Rod item, shooting out a star-shaped projectile that deals more damage compared to the red projectile. However, the second unique feature with this move is that it can turn items, and occasionally, some projectiles, into pumpkins. While it's a pumpkin, it behaves like a weaker version of the soccer ball item, where you can attack it to send it flying and even hurt opponents. However, it doesn't stay a pumpkin forever, because if 5 seconds have passed and no one attacks it, it returns to the original way it was. Again, this only works on items and some projectiles. It doesn't work on opponents. That said, however, if you try to use the side special right next to an opponent when they're over 100% of damage, their face becomes a pumpkin, which causes them to have temporarily reverse controls and a flower effect, causing them to deal more damage over time. But here's the bright side, you do not have the ability to kick the pumpkin off of the player, because if that happened, yeah, no one wants to imagine that. Now for Ashley's down special, this will have Ashley use an ability she picked up not from the WarioWare games, but in Smash as an assist trophy. Ashley will release a huge cloud of magic all around herself. But when I say huge, I don't mean as big as it is in her assist trophy. It'll be slightly smaller compared to that. While foes are in the cloud, they take damage pretty rapidly and get random effects, like reverse controls or invisibility, stuff like that. And just like the assist trophy, if food happens to get caught in the cloud and opponents eat it, they won't get healed. Instead, they actually just take even more damage. Unfortunately, as strong of a move as it sounds, there are a few problems with this. First of all, this special only works if it's fully charged, which takes about 5 seconds. Second, Ashley can take damage if any opponents happen to be attacking her while inside the cloud. And third, Ashley suffers an incredible amount of end lag after the special ends. On the bright side, Ashley can't be launched or grabbed while inside the cloud, so don't worry about someone canceling the cloud because of a lousy grab. And finally, for the up special, Ashley rides on her broom. Despite sounding typical, there are a few things to note when using the up special. 1. Ashley doesn't immediately rise into the air once the up special is activated. 2. The only way to rise into the air is by moving upwards using the control stick. And 3. Ashley can be in this state for about 7 seconds until the broom disappears, which causes Ashley to go into freefall. I should also mention this, but you could also spam your neutral special in the air. You can also move slightly left, right, up, or down if you so wish. And now, for the final smash. Ashley's final smash will be one last ingredient. For this final smash, Ashley uses her magic to grab any opponents nearby and stuffs them into a cauldron. If foes happen to be inside the cauldron, they'll immediately take large amounts of damage for about 3 seconds. After this, the cauldron explodes, causing all of the opponents to blast out of the cauldron and hurting foes who happen to be too close to the cauldron, ending the final smash. This final smash is a direct reference towards the very first time we saw Ashley, where she was gathering ingredients to make potions. Again, who does that when they're still a child? The stage of choice is Book of Lollipops from Game & Wario. This stage works just like the Smashville stage from Animal Crossing, having a platform that occasionally moves from left to right. However, the big difference between this stage is that cookies will appear on stage and act as a sort of stage hazard boss that players can destroy. Also, something else I should mention is that occasionally sweet food will be appearing on stage, which do of course act as healing items. In the background, various sweets can be seen across the land. The music was a challenge because a lot of WarioWare songs are from the micro games, so a lot of these will be title themes from across the series. In total, 13 songs would be included, 8 of which would be remixed.
Hocus Pocus.
And that would be if Ashley joined Super Smash Bros. While I personally never liked Ashley, I do think she'd be a really fun fighter to play as. But unfortunately, that may never happen. Oh well, at least we can enjoy her Sis trophy as of now. Anyways, do you have a character you'd like to see be given a Smash moveset? If so, let me know in the comments down below. And while you're at it, why not hit subscribe, so that way you can get notified when I put out any Super Smash Bros. Moveset videos. As always, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.